Alright. Let's get into a run, try and do a no reset, and go from there, I guess. And I do have to move my head more to look at chat than I did before. That is the one thing, so I need to get used to that. Also, I did see that you're here, Clay. Hello, welcome. I will actually read what you say in a minute. Oh yeah, no, I also have just better lighting here, despite the lighting in my room not actually being good. During marathon runs, I will actually use that heal station, but like, screw it, who cares? I'm not gonna die. YOLO. Yeah, my lighting situation in this room is there is a lamp slightly off camera right below the TV that I'm playing the game on, and that is the only light in this room. So like when I'm playing the game, it's just like in my peripheral vision, the light that is on right now, the lamp. Because I usually would keep the lamp on the desk itself, but the lamp slightly covers the screen that I'm playing the game off of, so like when I'm actually using that screen, I need to just move the lamp so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, Rebel Transmute is on all platforms, but the achievement list is kind of very bad, so it's not really. It wouldn't really be an interesting video, unfortunately, because the achievement list is basically like do a bunch of stuff close to the beginning of the game, and then 95% of the game has no achievements, and then there's one achievement for beating the game, and that's it. It's genuinely a pretty bad achievement list, and I wish it was better. But if you use that as an excuse to play the game, then go for it. But you could definitely tell the achievement list in this game was kind of an afterthought, which, you know, I'm not going to fault a dev for. How did I not get hit there? Like, I'm not going to fault a dev for, but I will still lament that fact, because I like fun achievement lists. And I did mention to Evan at one point, like I think I've mentioned a few times, where it's like, hey, this achievement list is kind of not very good. Would you consider making it better? And then nothing ever came of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, come on. 21, 22, 23. Alright, bad RNG. Very bad RNG. Yeah, like a Metroidvania having an achievement list that just doesn't require doing 90% of the game is kind of unfortunate. Whoops, I just did not split. Skip the first split because I forgot to do it. Whoops. Yeah, like I said, I need to get used to actually using the numpad. Because having my split keys on the numpad means I can actually use my keyboard while streaming and doing runs and not have to worry about live split going off. Because before, my start/split key was my left shift, so I had to either use caps lock or like my right shift in order to type while I had stream up. And it was very annoying. There we go. And I didn't take damage, so that's nice. Yeah, like if you were to do an any percent speedrun in this game, you would basically just have to take like 1 or 2 small detours and you'd be able to get all the achievements. It would not take very long. Like, I think the achievement that would require the most detours is just buying the map markers, and that's it. And that doesn't require much of a detour. Because it's like 2 rooms from where I currently am. So the only qualifier at that point is making sure you have the money for it. Alright, I've taken more damage than I would like, but that's okay. I meant to heal, but that's okay. I'll be fine. There we go. Healed that time. Alright, nice and easy. That was one of my better fights. That was really good, actually. Okay. That wouldn't have been a gold, I don't think, because my movement to the boss wasn't the best, but I will never know, because I forgot to split after the first split. Unless I want to go and retime the run, which I do not, because why would I do that? Alright. So far so good, but the beginning is the easy part. Okay. I do need to remember to unequip those augments here. Because when I was doing my practice run the other night to just no practice, no prep, just a random one-off derust run to make sure I still know what I'm doing, I did almost forget to take those off and I had to go back and actually unequip them. Because if I were to forget that, that would kind of mess up the entire route. In that it would be completely recoverable if I were to mess that up and forget to unequip those, but it would require killing some extra enemies for money. Alright, a lot of these areas are not too difficult to get the muscle memory back under my fingers for, but you can definitely tell some of them will require an attempt or two to get back. Alright. I also need to remember to try and not play risky during the marathon run, because as long as I don't die, I have 0 risk of going over estimate, no matter what happens during the run. So I just need to make sure I play things a little safe at times. Because when I did this run for Preventathon in the fall, I did go over estimate, but that's because I died in one of the worst possible spots, and also I didn't play the best at other spots. And then mind skip was also very rude. So even if mind skip is totally abysmal with the worst RNG I've ever seen, as long as I don't die in the rest of the run, I still won't go over estimate. Because that's kind of what happened in my run earlier this week that I did. Because I got a 49:30 or something, which is obviously not great, but I have a 50-minute estimate, so it's fine. And the only reason it was that bad was entirely because of Like, there's a few things here and there, but it was mostly just because of mine skip, both because I was messing it up a whole bunch. Like, the actual trick itself I was messing up, and then also the RNG was really bad. Nice. Got through, no damage. Alright, this is where I died in my Preventathon run, was against Phase 2 of the Moth Boss. So I just need to make sure I don't die here. Which means I might need to play it a little safer than I might want to, but that's okay. Okay. First cycle of this fight, Phase 2 done. And there is some stuff I could be doing to make this platforming go faster, but, like, I have no reason to play risky and try and do that right now, so I'm just not going to bother. Alright, because the last thing I need is to try and do something fancy in this platforming section here, mess it up, and then lose health, and then die as a result. So I'd rather just play it safe and get through it for now. Maybe once I get a little more practice in, I can go for some fancier strats. Like, right here, I would normally damage boost if I was, like, going for PBs and stuff, but, like, I'm not going to damage boost, I'm just going to play it safe. Hey, I got that, though. But I didn't touch the ground, so I don't have my dash. Okay, there we go. Alright, was that my best fight in the world? No, but I got the job done. I should really have these splits be an actual Synapse run that I'm comparing against, so that I don't lose 40 seconds on the Moth split that I can't possibly ever save because the boss changes. Because, like, that time loss is not particularly real, but there's nothing I can do about it because it's from that fight having the new Phase 2. I probably could have made that platform cycle there, but I'm just going to wait it out because falling feels real bad and loses time. Alright. And this is another split that I kind of am destined to lose time on because of changes as a result of the boss not being the same as it was on the old patch. Alright, get some money. I'm not at full health, but that's fine. I can heal at points later on. Okay, and then I didn't mess up the cycle in this room, which is good. That cycle's not hard to make, but it's not literally free either. These guys are just in a really bad position. There we go. Alright, these enemies are not playing nice right now. That's fine. Not the end of the world. Okay. Boss time. because I haven't taken any damage, I can wail on it during that attack. That was really solid. That was one of my better fights on the Synapse version of this fight. Pretty happy about that. Nice. If I had made that one platform cycle in the tall room right at the start of this split, that actually might have golded. Alright, and I need to make sure my super bounce timing is good because it has not been perfect lately. Are you kidding? I'm actually annoyed about that. That's a little bullshit. Whatever, it's fine. It's time loss, but it's not the end of the world. I shouldn't have gotten the hit. That was entirely my own fault. Could do that so I can heal. I don't like being at 2 health in this section. Like, I probably would have been fine at 2 health and I would have been able to heal in another room coming up, but there's no reason to play it risky. Like I said, the name of the game here is playing it safe so that I don't die. Because this is a very, very bad spot to die in. Because it kind of messes up the entirety of the route. And by that, again, I just mostly mean it messes up the money routing, but if I don't need to mess up the money routing, I don't want to mess up the money routing. Okay. I'm annoyed these guys are being mean to me. Okay, let me heal because I'm low health. This room is not going to plan. Okay, we're good. We're chilling. Very scuffed, but I got there. Alright, this is not going to be a good split, but that's okay. And I do need some extra money, because I do not have enough at the moment. But that's okay. I do need to kill one extra enemy, though. Thankfully, this guy's right here. Alright, 44. Okay, if I had gone a little sooner there, I could have actually saved half a cycle here, but that's okay. And then the rest of the money I need is up there. Cool. Oh yeah, the biggest change for marathon runs, now that I have my new computer, I can actually have the marathon chat open during stream while I'm doing my marathon runs, and I don't have to worry about my computer exploding by having a Twitch chat open, not through OBS. Oops. I did want to use my augments, I just hit B by accident. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. This is a really bad split. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not exactly trying to PB right now. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not... If I were to PB, I would be very surprised. Yeah, normally I just never have the chat open during marathon runs, which, I mean, it's probably good not to pay too close attention to the chat during marathon runs, but also... I have the option now because, like, I could have, like, a browser open and also stream at the same time, but, like, my computer was not happy when I would do that sometimes, so it's probably just for the best that I just didn't ever tempt fate. But now, like I said, I have the option now, which is nice. Alright, if Mind Skip goes well, this run is actually salvageable, which is funny, like, as far as, like, comparison to my PB goes, but I'm not expecting anything. Because it would have to be really fucking good to matter. And the odds of that are very low. Not impossible, but very low. Whoops. Alright, this is one of those rooms I think need to look at practicing again, because my movement there is not as good as it should be. But not the end of the world. Alright. Cross my fingers, wish me luck. Because I'm gonna need it. I got very lucky. Now, granted, I only got lucky because I put the bomb on that guy, but that was pretty solid, actually. I unpaused too early, damn it. I thought that was good. Damn it. Okay. That's unfortunate. And now I'm messing up the actual execution part. I'm too low down. Oh, no, that actually made it. If I don't get it this time, I'm fucked. I got bailed out. That should not have worked. I should absolutely not have succeeded, but I got very lucky. And by very lucky, I mean I clutched up, but I'm attributing that to luck. Because I do not deserve the credit for pulling that off, because I did not do it well. Alright, that was, like, surprisingly good, all things considered, though. Like, if this were actual PB attempts, I would have been annoyed about my execution there, but for the RNG part of it, that was pretty solid. Alright, on to phase 2. And phase 2 is over. Phase 2 is a joke. Granted, phase 2 didn't used to be a joke. It's only a joke thanks to the Synapse update, because he has a bigger hitbox. And that makes it significantly easier to hit him with all of your blasts. But that doesn't change the fact that he's a joke. Alright, this is unfortunately another split where I'm guaranteed to lose time on because of Synapse changes. Because I have to take the long way around twice. It also would help if I didn't mess it up, but that's, you know, unrelated to the route changes. That is just me being bad. Good RNG? Hey, I got good RNG. Let's go. Right, that good RNG saves me like 10 to 15 seconds of waiting, so that's actually really nice. Now, thing is, I need it twice in order to not lose time to having to wait there, but for now, good enough. Is that gonna hit? No, that's gonna hit the enemy, right? I forgot about that. I forgot that's why I always jump up and do it. Because there's an enemy there. Okay. Not too shabby. Alright, this next room is another one that I need to practice, because I kind of had it down pretty decently, but not so much anymore. I'm a little annoyed about that, but that was my own fault. Alright, I am not doing this room very well. But I got through it, and I'm not too far below max health, so, like, could be worse. Because I didn't even mess up the actual difficult part, which is funny. Alright, this is another boss where it's like, I don't need to play it safe per se, but I can't YOLO it either. Especially when I don't have full health. Like, it might be slow to be safe and heal, but, like, I have no reason to not play it safe and heal in most of these sections of this fight. Because sometimes I'll do stuff like that and end up at half health, which is not good. And then sometimes he ends up in the wall and I just can't hit him anyway. There we go. Alright, well I get good RNG twice. Right, first I need to actually get it back over there, because while this run is at, like, phenomenal RNG so far, my execution is the part that I've been losing a ton of time on. Which, I mean, that's to be expected. This game is not easy. But it's a shame, because it's like, if my execution was good on this run, the RNG in this run was good enough to PB. Also, I did not get good RNG the second time around, which is fine, but it just means I have to wait like 10 seconds here for this guy to get back in position. Not a huge deal. But I'm almost out of the mines. Because all my stuff on my layout is different, when I'm trying to look at my splits, I don't know exactly where to look at first. It takes me a second to figure out where I want to look. Thankfully, that part of my setup being different doesn't matter for a marathon run, because I don't normally use my splits during a marathon run. That's not even a, like, my computer was bad thing. That was more of just a, I don't want to have to worry about thinking about my splits and having to actually split during a marathon run. Because it's just gonna mess me up. Alright. That was actually pretty solid. I can't complain about how that split went. Like, it wasn't perfect, my execution was a bit mediocre, but, like, I'm happy with it. That was not bad. Considering this is literally the second time I've done a run of this game in, like, 4 months, not too shabby. I mean, yeah, that makes sense to use blank splits, but, like, the main reason I don't like blank splits is because when I'm practicing for a marathon run, I still want to know what kind of pace I'm on to know, like, not even, like, in a PB sense, but just, like, I want to know what kind of pace I'm on, and I'm not good at knowing the pace without having splits up. Like, I know some people are like memorize what kind of times are good at certain parts of certain runs and stuff when they play games, but like, I'm not very good at that. And so I just like having my splits open specifically for the purposes of knowing if I'm on pace to like beat my estimate by a certain amount or anything like that. And then during the actual marathon run, like, usually that helps me get a good idea of what kind of pace I might be on for during the marathon run. And so I don't need splits open to know if I'm on a good run or not. And plus, most games I run, I know if my run was good or not. Like, doesn't exactly take a rocket scientist to know that, oh, I died on a boss fight and had to spend 4 minutes running back to get there. That means I lost a lot of time. But like, not all of the games I run have pain points that are that obvious. Like when I run level head, for example, since like the time saves and time losses are significantly more incremental in that game, it's significantly harder to know how good of a run I'm on. So having splits is kind of required in order to have any idea of what kind of pace I'm on. Especially since this game has an in-game timer, level head does not. So even if I don't have my splits, I still have like an idea of how good I'm playing for Rebel Transmute and some other games like that. But alright, I don't need to kill that guy, but if he gets in my way, I'm just gonna keep shooting him. Killing him does make my life easier, though. Oops. Alright, if the rest of this run goes well, I legitimately have this still has a chance of PBing. I'm not going to bank on it happening or anything, but it could happen. Because, like, all of the major pain points of the run are over. There is still some stuff left that I very easily could lose time on, but all of the hardest sections and the most RNG-reliant sections are over. So, like, as long as I have a good final boss fight and don't mess up some platforming sections, I'm in actually pretty good shape. Alright, but I'm not going to focus on that because PBing is not what I'm going for here. If it happens, but that's not the important thing. Alright. Whoops. Oh, come on, how am I not hitting the platform? That was weird. Well, not a big deal. That's just minor time loss. Yo, Uncle Slam. Thank you for the good luck. Good to see ya. Alright, this room's being a little mean to me, but I'll be fine. As long as I don't take more than, like, 2 damage, I have zero concerns. Because this next boss is the easiest boss in the entire game, and it's not even a contest. This boss is a total joke. Because he attacks you, he fucks off, you can heal, then he attacks you, he fucks off, then you can heal, then he attacks you, he fucks off, then he attacks you, and he fucks off. This is why it's the easiest boss in the run. And then he's already dead as well. He has no health, has no attacks. How is that a gold? Excuse me? How is that a 7-second gold? Like, genuinely. Like, that boss fight wasn't bad or anything, but that's definitely not the fastest I've done that fight. Also, best room in the game. Whee! I'm not complaining about a 7-second gold, I'm just confused as to how I got a 7-second gold there. What? I got caught on the wall. Are you kidding me? That is a massive time loss, unfortunately. And not one that should have happened. Alright, well, so much for this split being any good. There goes, like, 10-15 seconds down the drain. That sucks. That didn't kill PB, but that definitely hurts my chances. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a fish. Why is it leaving the water? I would have a much harder time against it if it just stayed in the water. Alright, this split's normally a very non-issue kind of split, but unfortunately it did not go well. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright, there's only one more boss left in the run, and it's the final boss, but I have a bunch of platforming to do before then. Alright, I did not go through this room as fast as I could have, but whatever, it's good enough. Because this next section coming up is legitimately a pretty difficult platforming section. And not because the actual platforming is difficult, but because it's a pretty difficult section to do without, like, getting hit by every enemy and dying along the way, so I do need to be a little bit careful. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we met at AGDQ. It was the meeting of Slam and Sam. I forget if that's where I normally split there, which might be why I lost some time. Not a big deal. Unfortunately, unless this is, like, the best final boss I've ever had, PB is dead, but, like, if I got a fucking 43 on my second run since, like, 4 or 5 months ago, that is really good. Alright, the platforming here is not terribly difficult, but there's obviously a bunch of spots where I could mess up and lose a little bit of time if I'm not careful. Alright, there we go. Alright, and then one more platforming section, and I'm good. Whoops. Cutscene didn't start yet. How in the world was that a gold by that much? That does not seem correct, but like, okay. I guess PB's back on the table. If the final boss goes like perfectly. Alright, final boss going perfectly is going to require good RNG and good execution, though. So, like... And on top of that, I need to play it risky. Like, I can't play this final boss safe if I want to save time on it. Which means I will have to do some damage boosting at Phase 2, which I do not like doing. But it's kind of required to get a good time. Or at least it's required to get a good time at this point, specifically. Alright, that was a decently solid Phase 1, but not perfect. Okay. I need to not take any extraneous hits here and use that health for damage boosting. I've already failed. Alright, this is not a good Phase 2. What the fuck? Actually, what the fuck? I do need to check the in-game time. And here, let me check SRC real quick to see what my actual time is. Let me pull up my SRC. Full game. Yeah, Rebel Transmute, my any percent time using the in-game timer is a 43:33. And so we do need to wait for seeing what the final in-game time is. So we need to get through the credits. It is a PB. Like, I know it's a PB, I just don't know what the final time is. Alright, get through the credits. Ignore the fact that I'm in the credits twice. Because that's not important. That isn't relevant to the PB that I just got, apparently. Well, I guess this confirms that, like, I know I've been like very PB capable in this game for a while. I never got a good run with Mind Skip being good. All right, final time. Are you kidding? 43:30.01. And that is a PB. And it's a PB by 3.5 seconds. But I just barely missed the sub 43:30, which is really funny. But, I mean, like I said, that is a PB, so, like,